All right, this is for user Bell A09 6 minutes ago. Filling an empty void. Post breakup, what are some things I can do to help me feel less empty and get over it faster? Well, Bell A09, I know how you feel. I think a lot of people do because a lot of people have gone through breakups. And then had to deal with the aftermath of it. I think if I was in your position, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, young or old. I think you should work on doing what you like to do, but also you have to work on yourself. I assume you want to get into another relationship in the future. That's probably the safe assumption that I'm making. So I suppose what I would do is work on the person that you are so that you can give the person that you meet the best person, if that makes sense. If there's an exercise regime you've been looking at doing, start that. If there's an education course that you've been looking at taking, start that. Build a better you. Read a lot of books. Read a lot of fiction. Fiction's really good, especially like narrative fiction that has like as a metaphor for real life. That's really cool. I find that like self-help books are good, but they're so hard to read. They're so hard to read. I would work on myself because at some point you're going to meet someone and you're really going to want to stay with them and be with them, right? But if you haven't worked on yourself, if you've just been hanging out doing whatever for the last, whatever amount of time it is, you're going to come across someone that is really awesome, but you're not prepared for them, If I was in your position, having had just broken up, the first thing I suppose I would do is feel everything I needed to feel surrounding what happened in the relationship. Was it a bad breakup, a good breakup, a heavy breakup, a light breakup, an easy one, a hard one? Feel all that you need to feel, and don't go out and get a rebound. There's probably going to be comments very soon that tell you to go fuck a million dudes or chicks. Don't do that, because you're just covering up the feeling of loneliness or the void that you speak of with a Band-Aid and putting someone else in the position of being the rebound, which is not a polite thing to do, unless you tell them. Like, I've been the rebound before and I knew it and it was awesome because I just had fun and, left. But that's because I knew it and I was in that time of my life ready for that. But I wouldn't be going to get a rebound because you're not gonna solve the problem. I don't know why you broke up, right? But I assume that it was probably due to communication issues. It was probably due to different desire issues. It was, there's many common factors in many relationships that are nearly guaranteed to be one of the reasons that people break up. And so right now is the perfect time to do something that I advise in all of my videos to do, which is write down what you want in a relationship. Write down what you want in a relationship, what you want from a person that you're in the relationship with. Write down the person that you want to be in that relationship. And write down all the opposites of those, what you don't want in a relationship, what you don't want in that person, and what you don't want to see in yourself, or what you don't want to give them, because that will give you a guide, a sort of a compass to be able to, the next time you get into a relationship, have a much better time of it. Like, one thing I notice that people do is they operate on the momentum of their past, and they find themselves driving a car and they don't know why. And by that, it's a metaphor for in a relationship. They find themselves in a relationship and they don't know why. They don't know how they got there. They're like, do I really love this person? Is this person really the one that I want? And the only reason they have these feelings is because they didn't do the homework. Like, I know that the woman I'm with now is the one that I want, and she has the qualities that I want, because I've done the homework. I had, like, I'm 32 male. I don't know how old you are, but at 32, if you haven't already thought about these things, all the things that I just mentioned, if you haven't thought about the kind of person you want to be in a relationship and the kind of person you want to be outside of a relationship, because that's the one you're going to bring into the relationship, right? And if you haven't thought about the kind of person you want and the kind of relationship you want, you're at a disadvantage, a real disadvantage. And look, the only reason I say disadvantage is not in comparison to other people, because most other people haven't done it either, and that includes the person that you're going to meet. But it means that you are at an advantage if you've done all the planning and preparation, because if you plan to fail, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that goes for relationships as well. Now you are in the perfect position to make some plans for your life, and then plan out what you want in a relationship, put all that to the side, and then focus on you. And then when you meet someone that you really think could be that person that you could spend the rest of your life with, you can compare them to the lists that you've written down. And they don't have to be long. They could be 5 things a piece, 5 or 3 things a piece. 3 things you want in a person, 3 things you want out of a relationship. And trust me, once you start, it's going to be hard to stop, and write down everything that comes to mind, and then go back to it 10 minutes later or a week later, and remove what you don't want and add what else you want, So now is the perfect time to start planning and preparing for your life first. The kind of person you want to be. Do what you enjoy. Really get into what you enjoy, but also don't just do what you enjoy. Do what you need to do to plan for the future, financially, emotionally, physically, all of those things, like in terms of employment, in terms of education, all of those things. Work on you, because now you have no one to answer to, okay? You don't have to consider anyone else's opinion in making the decisions you want to make. So now you can redefine yourself, and then when you meet someone new, they will meet the redefined you. That's the beauty of where you are right now. I know how you feel. I really do. I know the pain of absence, of not having someone in your life. But when you get through that, you will start looking for someone new, or you will be open to someone new, and you want to have all the bricks in place to build a proper foundation on which to set your new relationship. And even if you don't, not considering that relationship, you want to have a good foundation on which to set your life. So set a budget, follow that budget. Like if you want to buy a motorbike now. Do it now, so that the person you meet and fall in love with meets a motorcycle rider, or a rock climber, or a ballroom dancer, whatever it is, or a COVID survivor. So listen, you're in the perfect position right now. I hope you do well, and good luck.